Okay, if anyone can see me, if you would like to comment in the comment section below, please do. That way we know we're live. Again, if you can see me and obviously hear me, if you can comment in the comment section below, please note there will be potentially a 30-second delay between what we can read and what we can see. There we go. Let's have a look what we've got. There we go. Looks like we're getting a few people saying we're live, so that must be good. Okay, just give us a second then, guys. Make sure we're live on YouTube as well. Okay. I'm getting an echo. There we go. That's better. Thanks, Steve, Kunal, and Peter. I can see you're definitely commenting on that. Right. Welcome to the Tech for Text Tech Talk. This is a vendor special, NZXT Presentation and Q&A in association with CMS Distribution. This is a live show. We are streaming live to the Tech for Tech Facebook group and page, YouTube and Twitch, and you will now be able to listen to the show on Apple, Amazon, Google TuneIn and Spotify podcasts. I'm your host, Phil Griffiths. Today we are joined by David Scott, who is the Regional Manager of UK and Nordics at NZXT. How are you doing today, David?
Great, thanks. All good.
Nice one. We're also joined by Jean-Paul, Hitz and Lewis from CMS Distribution. How are you guys doing?
Good, cheers.
Hi, Phil.
I'm all good, thank you.
Nice one. Right. First of all, we have a competition today. If you click the links I'm going to put into the chat, you have a chance of winning an NZXT Kraken Z63 280mm all-in-one water cooler. These have a recommended retail price of £159, so make sure you click the link and fill the form to win. I'll be posting that link just shortly. Again, this link will only be shared in the Tech for Tech's Facebook group. So if you're viewing on YouTube, unfortunately, you're unable to actually put your name down or anything. So you have to be in the Tech for Tech's Facebook group. So if you have any questions as well for the end of the show, so we do have a Q&A, please put in the comment section any comments you have or questions so I can ask at the end of the show. The questions can be obviously aimed at NZXT or they can also be aimed at CMS Distribution. Right, so over to David Scott now, who's going to give us a presentation of obviously the NZXT products.
Okay, thanks, Phil. I'm going to share my screen there. Okay, NZXT, build the extraordinary. The NZXT company mission is to be the most authentic brand for gamers. So we've been built from the bottom up. So we've always been dedicated to gamers because we are gamers. And we've always made sure that all of our products show this. And basically, we don't design products for anyone else, any other market. All we look at is every product we design, we bring it out for the gaming market. Now, I want to start off with software because everyone obviously associates NZXT with building products. Yes, we do that, but we've also been investing heavily in software in recent years. This is to get the whole NZXT ecosystem where it needs to be. And, you know, with a really high-end gaming PC, which, you know, is what we strive to produce, is you really need the hardware, the software solution to go with the hardware as well. So we have our own software, which is called NZXT CAM. Now, the logo's at the top there. Now, when I go through all the products, anything that relates to the CAM software that will link in, you know, whether it's a light or, you know, a certain function of a product, it will show the NZXT CAM logo on there. So our software is not just a lighting solution. We've got everything, which we've got for the gamers. So we've got in-game overlay, we've got custom cooling curves, we've got GPU overclocking, we've got CPU overclocking, we've got monitoring software, and everything that NZXT does will be developed within that. So if we bring any new product streams out, we will always have a software feature in there that we can show the NZXT benefit for. So to go straight into the product lineup for 2020, which obviously is coming to the end of, but this is what is currently on sale at the moment. So our bread and butter, or certainly was for many years, is the PC cases, which most people know NZXT for. So our current range of cases is called the H series. We started off with the H500 series, 700, 200, and then we've done a refresh on that. So the looks have been very similar. So we've been going for the really simplistic, stylish look for many years, and we've tried not to deviate from that. So, you know, people associate it with the NZXT look, and certainly a signature part of the cases is this toolbar here, cable bar, which hides all our cabling, which you may have seen other companies do, but NZXT have got their unique ones. And we were pretty much the first one to bring that out, so you can have much more tidier cables within the PC build. So to go straight to the H series, so all models have USB Type-C connections and USB 3.1 generation support. So there wasn't many cases that people used to bring out with USB Type-C. When we brought it out, there was quite a bit of resistance because not a lot of mainboards had that connection now. With the introduction of the new Z490 chipset and the new AMD chipset, that is becoming a standard issue now on most motherboards. So again, NZXT kind of been ahead of the curve on that one. We put them on the cases before lots of other manufacturers did. So we've got uninterrupted tempered side glass panels. So our previous models used to have the thumb screws that used to go through the glass. Now all we have is a sheer side glass panel. So you get a much cleaner look inside the PC. We updated the SSD trays, and we updated the Hue 2 and grid. So the hardware that controls the lighting and the fan speeds, we've improved those. But you still get the same cable management and the ease of build than you do with NZXT. We also do a smart version as well, which is the same as the other ones, but it has an eye on the end. They come with a vertical GPU mounting bracket and an updated smart device too. So there's more lighting channels within there, and everything that we get in there, we can daisy chain, which I'll go through later. And you get an additional RGB lighting strip behind the cable bar. So with the i versions, you get an LED strip that goes along the top, but now you get another one which also goes, which is flexible, and you can put it behind the cable bar, or you can put it somewhere else on the chassis if you want it to go somewhere else instead. So the smallest, we'll start small and we'll start going up in height, of the H series is the 210s and the 210Is. So it's ideal for a single GPU gaming rig. Even though it's small, it fits a single 240mm radiator. So if you look on the front of the PC there, on the front of the case there, the radiator actually goes all the way down to the bottom. It's available in 3 colors, as is all the NZXT current cases, is white, black and red. So the entry level 210 case will retail at $79.99, and the 210i, the smart version, is $109.99 currently. And again, the powered by NZXT cams there next to the smart version, because that will link into the software side of things with the RGB lighting. And the next size up is the H510 and the 510i, which is the mid tower, the bread and butter. It's the one that most people will know us for. I've actually just realized we've got the old MSRP there, which for the standard, which is $74.99. It's actually down to $69.99 at the moment. So that's a little bit outdated. So again, you can fit radiators in the front, but as well as a 240mm, you can also fit a 280mm radiator. And it's again available in the same three colors, white, black and red. And the smart version is $99.99, which is the actual correct MSRP. Okay, so when we talk about the USB Type-C on the top, we had a lot of feedback from the UK SI channel, which was there wasn't enough motherboards on the market to justify a USB Type-C connection. And for around 6 months, there would have been a lot of PCs that connection would have been made redundant. So in the midterm, we brought out a H511, which is an SI only SKU. So for USIs out there, you'll see this from CMS's feed, but retail guys, it's not for you. And obviously it's got no MSRP because of that reason. It's the same size as the H510. So it fits a 240 and a 280, and it's available in the same three colors. The only difference is you've got the USB Type 3 on the top instead of a USB Type C. Okay, and the next one up is a H710 and H710i. It's still a mid tower. It's not a full tower, but it's that bit larger than the H510. So for that reason, it's perfect for doing multi-GPU and custom liquid cooling. It fits two 360mm radiators, so it fits one on the top, fits one down the front. So you can fit two custom loops on there, or you can fit two NZXT Kraken X63 or Z63s, which we'll go into later. Again, it's the same three colors, white, black, and black red. And the standard version is retailing at $129.99, which is cheaper again than the slide. And the H710i is now $169.99. Okay, and the Elite case, which is my case of choice, it's the one I have my PC in home. So it is again the same size as the H510. So it fits the same radiators, a 240, 280. But this one, the difference is it comes with a sheer glass front panel as well as the side panel. So in that front panel, because obviously you can see all the way through the PC, we put two RGB fans. That's two 140 RGB fans. And it also comes with the LED strips as the other smart version. So it actually has a smart hub inside there. So from the H510i, which was $99.99, for the additional £50, you get the additional RGB fans and the sheer glass panel at the front. And for me, it just makes all the difference. It looks such a great case. And the H1, so this is the last case that we've launched. We actually launched it in February 2020, I believe, but it's been very much in constraint the whole year. The reason being, if we look at the split down here, so if we look on the left-hand side, that is a complete H1. And if we look here, you can see the chambers on it. So we have a chamber for the graphics card, and you've got a chamber for the CPU. And actually the CPU, it comes with a AIO custom liquid cool. So we provide the cooler with that. It comes with an SFX 650 watt gold power supply, and it comes with a riser card as well. So it may seem like just a case, but actually it's pretty much half a build, and it's half of the work is done because of those components are actually already in the product. The parts that you have to put in are relatively easy to fit. So because of this, we've won the European Hardware Awards 2020, which is a global, a European award. Throughout all the countries have been voting for this, and we've actually won it. As I mentioned, it comes with the cooler and the riser card and the PSU. So that actually helps as well with the thermal design, that everything is packed the way that it is, because we've got the chambers. The GPU vents out of one side of the case, where the CPU vents out the other and the PSU out the other. So that's why the awards mean so much for us on this product, because it's obviously quite groundbreaking the way that we've designed it. Nobody's done that kind of chamber before. And obviously the big concern for all the reviewers was because it's such a small volume, because the case is so small. And I mean, a lot of people think it's very similar to the new Xbox, which it is, but I think it's slightly bigger. But, you know, the big concern was obviously the thermals wouldn't be up to it and the noise wouldn't be up to it. But all the reviewers say the thermals are perfect and the noise is perfect. So that's why everything is ticked all the boxes on this. The retail price for both black and white on this, there's no black and red, is $299.99, which does seem expensive for a case. But if you strip away the cooler, the PSU and the riser card, you'll find the case itself is actually only about £80. So really smart, small ITX, mini ITX case is really good value at that price, which again, like I say, it was a big concern of ours before we put it out for review, and all the reviewers saw the added value in this. So all year it's been getting reviews, really good reviews. The only problem is we haven't been able to get them in quick enough because obviously we're providing the PSU, and as everyone probably knows, PSUs are really in constraint at the moment. That is getting better. Stock will be coming out more and more in 2021. So hopefully those who haven't seen this case will start seeing it soon from CMS. Okay, so that is cases. So cases is probably the most product that NZXT ship, but it's probably on an equal revenue stream as the NZXT Krakens, the coolers, because the coolers, obviously the ASP is that little bit higher. So we'll jump into why. So we have a cooler that fits everything. So we've got from 120 mil to 360. I don't believe there's many people do much more than that, or that we can see any demand in the market for much more than that. We obviously cover all the sockets, all the Intel sockets. So 211, we cover all the AM4 sockets. It will work on Threadripper, but I do believe the bracket for that will have to come with the CPU. But definitely they're being approved to work with Threadripper, so it basically covers all of the modern CPUs on the market. So we'll start with the mini one, the 120 all-in-one cooler. So it includes an Air P120 NZXT fan on there. It fits in all cases except the H1, because the H1 needs to come with that custom, which is a 140, but that can't be replaced with an M22. Sorry. So the pump on the M22 is actually on the radiator, as opposed to on the pump head, which, as you'll see with all the other Krakens, is the difference around there. So the M22 is our entry-level cooler. It's $69.99. And again, it's got the NZXT, powered by NZXT Camsoft logo there. So all of the NZXT coolers are linked in with the Cam software. So this infinity mirror that you see on the CPU head, that is RGB colored, and you control that through the software. So you can have, whatever color you want on there. You can have pulses, you can have the different lighting strategies on that. So the X53 is the next one up, which is a 240 all-in-one cooler. It comes with two Air P120 fans and fits in all cases again except the H1. So the pump on the CPU head for this one, so although the header looks the same as the M22, that one actually has the pump inside it there. So the radiator is just a radiator, and the CPU is the pump is covered in the CPU head there. So this one comes in at $119.99, and then it moves up to the 280 millimeter, which looks fairly similar. Obviously, it's a double radiator, but it comes with two P140 fans. Although they look fairly similar, it's actually quite a difference in cooling performance. So it's 36% more surface area than the 240. So if you think of the air that's being pushed through the radiator, it actually does provide a lot more cooling, and for only £10 more on the MSRP, a lot of people find it much more better value for money. Of course, we've already said it doesn't fit in the H210, so that could be a reason why obviously some people would choose it over that, but either of them obviously are going to be pretty good, really upgraded for what you need for a CPU cooler on the market now. And the biggest one, so from the X series, is 360 mil, comes with three fans. The only case it will fit NZXT is the H710, but you can fit two in there. So you can fit one on the top, you can fit one on the front. Why you would want two CPU coolers in there, I'll explain in a minute, which is another NZXT product, which will actually link into this. So this one comes in at $159.99, so it's quite that big jump up from the 280 millimeter. And then it comes on to the Z63, and I do apologize. I think Phil might have had the wrong MSRP for the prize. So this is the one that we're giving away in the competition. It is actually $219.99. I think I might have gave Phil the Z73 MSRP, which is where that came from. So Obviously, we've already discussed what a 280mm radiator looks like and the benefits of that above a 240. Now, the difference between these two products is the pump head. So you can see there that looks different from the infinity mirror. So the real difference in the Z series is this is actually an OLED screen. So it's 2.36-inch LCD screen. And what can happen on there is you can put anything you want. So we've got the preset controls. So it's got temperature controls, you can put noise controls, whatever. We've got a few images on there, stock images, you know, that might look nice with a PC. But the beauty of this, and this is where the CAM software comes in, so you can take any GIF off the website, off the internet, and you can put that GIF on your CPU head within 5 seconds. So by copying a GIF, putting it in the CAM software, whatever you want on there will appear on the screen, which we've had loads of YouTubers, reviewers, you know, we've had them putting their faces on, their favorite cartoon characters, you know, just the latest cool things, you know, funny videos. Everyone can put that on there, and it's a really good product. Obviously, you're paying a premium for that, so the difference between the two coolers is nearly £100, and you are paying that for obviously the customization of it. If you're an SI, obviously, the perfect thing about this is you can put your company's logo on it, so you can ship the PC out with whatever brand PCs you're producing, or you can put a GIF on there. So when the customer gets that product, obviously they can see your logo on there, but then they can change it and keep customizing it how they want. This is a bit dated as well. So last week, I believe we had a Z53 come out, which again is the 240mm version and the premium on that. So it is £10 cheaper again for these. So the Z53 is at £209.99. And the Z73, again, it's just a 360mm version of the same cooler with the OLED screen on there. So it will only fit in the H510. And the premium price on that is $249.99. But trust me, this is the cooler that everyone wants. This is the one that NZXT sell out the quickest. What everyone thinks of other brands and premium prices, it's kind of the opposite way to NZXT. The premium cases and the premium coolers are some of our best sellers. And we actually sell more Z73s probably than M22s in the market. So when we're looking at obviously the target audience, the gamers that NZXT are aiming for, this is exactly the reason why, because people really appreciate, you know, the thought and the product development that NZXT have put into these products. Okay, I said I'd mention why you could want to fit two coolers in a H710 case. So we can actually use a bracket called a G12 on Kraken coolers. So if you want to water cool your GPU, you then take the fan off the GPU, you swap it with the G12. You know, I mean, it's only $24.99, so it's not an expensive piece of kit, but you need to pair it with an NZXT cooler. So the M22 doesn't work. So the first cooler that it would work with would be the X53. So that's a £199 cooler, but the G12 is just a bracket that will allow you to do that. So if you're an NZXT fan, or you don't want to pay for a really expensive water block for your GPU, but you want it liquid cooled, it's a really cost-effective solution to do it. So, you know, thoroughly recommended. And again, sell more NZXT products together. So great. And moving on to the next product is C-Series PSU. So again, like most things, we launched the C-Series PSUs in January, and it was really well received in the press and the consumers. And then obviously because of the year we've had with the pandemic, the problem is it's been in really short supply. So a lot of people out there probably don't know we've got a really good PSU range. We have, unfortunately, it's in constraint at the moment, and we'll try and get that solved as quickly as possible. Try and get as much stock within the channel so everyone can experience them themselves. So we do three versions. We do a 650, a 750, and 850, all gold fully modular. So, you know, I've had a lot of experience with PSUs over the years, and, you know, this is the standard that everyone expects. And if you're a gaming company and you expect people to, you know, take your PSU seriously, that's the kind of level that you need to be at. So we've done a lot of research on the prices, and we came in at $99.99 for the price of the 650 watt, and has become standard with gold power supplies over the last few years. It comes with a manufacturer-backed 10 years warranty. I'm not going to go too much into the rest of them. The 750 is a 750 watt, and the 850 is an 850 watt. So they all step up in price accordingly. Brilliant power supplies. The worst thing about them is obviously we can't get enough at the moment. So that's the only thing I'll apologize for. And another thing, RGB lighting. So this is, again, when we think of NZXT in the history, a lot of the history was with cases. We started off as a case manufacturer, but we were one of the forefront companies when it came to case lighting. And our NZXT Hue lighting was probably one of the first ones on the market. And as what happens with lighting, obviously, other manufacturers get their own versions. And then what you have is obviously the cheap Chinese imports where, you know, you can see similar products for a much cheaper price. But as we've talked about with NZXT, is you have this ecosystem. So you have the whole, the CAM software. So that's how NZXT put our lighting above anyone else's, because, you know, you might get something from China that's maybe a few dollars, $5, an LED strip which comes with a remote control. You press the button, eventually it's going to stop working and it's going to be stuck in a color and you're going to go crazy. What NZXT does, it focuses around the software. So the CAM software controls all the lighting, and obviously there's NZXT powered components. So with the smart cases, you get what's in the middle here, the RGB and fan controller. You get an RGB controller on the Kraken coolers. And actually, as of a week ago, we do Kraken coolers with RGB fans now as well. We have cable combs, and we underglow kits, the LED strips, the RGB fans, and an ambient lighting kit. So all of those are all on here. So all of them are lighting features which operate around the CAM software and the whole NZXT ecosystem. Okay, so the RGB fan controller, yes, it does come with the smart cases. It comes with the Krakens as standard, but you can buy it as a separate product for $24.99. So say you've got an old case, so you've got an old NZXT case or a non-smart case, and you want to upgrade, you can buy the smart controller. We used to bundle it with some LED strips, but because now, you know, people might buy RGB fans separate, etc. We sell the RGB strips and the fans and the controller separate. So you can basically just pick and choose which kind of channel you want. So we are putting more fan channels and RGB channels on there. You can mix and match. So the LED strips and the fans, they actually daisy chain. So although you might have two lighting channels, that's two going in separate directions. So you can actually have a fan plug into a fan or a strip plug into a strip, and you can carry on the lighting across the whole of the inside of the PC, or the outside if you've got an ambient kit or an underglow kit. And the Air RGB 2 fans. So everyone's seen RGB fans, nothing new there, but what you haven't seen is probably the NZXT style of them, where a lot of people have RGB on the fan blades or the pushing into the fan rotation, so it lights everything up. NZXT is a bit more subtle, so we've got that whole ring around it. Again, it's controlled from the CAM software, so there's a load of preset lighting stuff on there. And obviously, if you've got the RGB fans, the strips, and the coolers, everything will all go on the same color at the same time. So you can do, you know, this color, this effect, or you can split them up. You can say, I want the cooler this, the fan this, and the LED strip this. Why you would want to do that, I have no idea. But yeah, you can unlink them, you can link them together. So a standard RGB fan is $24.99, and the 140, the upgraded size is $26.99. But as already discussed, the H510 Elite does come with two fans as well. So that £50 premium is kind of looking good if you think the fans alone are over £50. Okay, and the LED strips. So as discussed, they used to come with the RGB controller. Now we just do them as additional. So both strips are the same, the 250s and the 300s. So the 250s are recommended with the H510, 511, and the 300 millimeters are recommended with the 710. So just that little bit longer. And again, they'll all daisy chain, but you will need some sort of controller to get them to work. Okay, that comes on to the fans, so the Air P and F fans. So we sell these separate. So as I already discussed in the with what comes with the cases and the coolers. So all of the cases come with standard with an Air F fan. So the F is for flow. So it's a PMW fan with optimized cooling for whisper soft 22 decibel cooling. So that means obviously you can control the speed of that. So the fan won't ramp up. It won't, make noise. It won't go, unexpectedly loud and quick unless you need it to. So it can be controlled by the motherboard from our controllers to basically work as and when the heat is needed. So we do two sizes. So we do a 120 and a 140. Obviously they come standard in their cases as well. So you would just need a few extra on there. And the standard 120 comes in at $11.99. We do a double pack at £23, and just that pound extra more for the 140 equivalent. The Air P fans, so these come as standard on all Kraken coolers, even the M22. So say if you had a custom liquid cooling kit that you were putting together with liquid tubes or pipes, and you wanted fans for the radiator, these are ideal for them because we know obviously how good they are cooling. And again, it's got the PWM feature, so it will only ramp up when it's needed to. So if your system's idle, it won't be making lots of noise, but if your system's running and it really needs some cooling in there, the fans will ramp up to exactly where it's needed. Again, they come in a 120 and a 140 size, but we don't do a double pack in those. And NZXT N7 motherboards. So we've tried motherboards a few times. I think it was Z370, Z390, and now the Z490. So we've completely gone back to basics and changed the factory where we're producing these motherboards from. We brought them in at a much lower MSRP as the previous generation, which was $249.99. So we brought them in at $219.99, which is kind of competing around the Gigabyte Aorus and the Asus Strict level. So we're very serious when it comes to obviously this is a motherboard that's built for gamers. The aesthetics on it, I mean, the look is just absolutely amazing. If you're a fan of NZXT, how the cases look and everything, the motherboards just round off a system perfectly. So we have these shrouds on here. So, the white one here stands out a lot more than the black, but the black is very subtle. They come with, obviously, USB Type-C, as we spoke about, obviously, which all NZXT cases have now. They come with the metal cover on there, and they have 3 Hue 2 lighting kits. So where we were talking about the RGB controller for $24.99, you would need to link in. If you've got an NZXT motherboard, you don't need that. Any LED strips, RGB fans will hook straight up to the motherboard on that. So there's no need for another controller. Again, saving money. So we refined the BIOS for overclocking, and you can actually overclock using the CAM software. And obviously the CAM software does all of the PC monitoring. So anything that you need to know about the GPU, the CPU, the temperatures, everything on there, the CAM software will tell you all. So a really good bit of software that links in nicely with a really good looking motherboard now. So NZXT, what's on the horizon? Lots of stuff. I can't go into details, but the whole product portfolio for NZXT has got a really long roadmap. So we're talking about obviously more coolers, more cases, which obviously we have a very good market share within the UK now. We want to make sure we keep growing that, make sure we have PCs and coolers for everyone's taste. We want to make sure that we go into other product categories that, a gamer would be interested in. I can't go into too much detail, but you know, there's other gaming brands out there who do lots of other gaming products, and NZXT feel we can do them a lot better. So watch this space. Certainly the next 12 months, it's going to be a really good whirlwind. We're going to see what products come out and hopefully get the NZXT name out there. And CMS have been absolutely great. It's exactly what we needed. We've been on board since July. We really need these guys to help us, you know, reach customers we never reached before in the UK market. So I'm really grateful for that. They've put us together with Tech for Tech. And obviously all you guys are obviously enthusiasts. You've got your own businesses. Hopefully you can find a place for NZXT within your ranges. So that is me. I will say thank you.
Well, thank you very much for that, Dave. Sorry if I'm trying to keep a straight face and just reading some of the comments what people have been putting. So there've been a few interesting ones. First of all, we'll go over to Lewis because apparently you've got some sort of special promotion going on at the moment. And if you're unsure who Lewis is, I think you're a proper title is it account manager, Lewis?
Yeah, account manager at CMS. So the main deal we've got going on, I think it's from the 7th of December up until the end of the year, 31st December. Anybody from the Tech for Tech groups who buy any NZXT products from myself, we can chuck in some a free face mask. So if you're in your shop selling, obviously over Christmas, you'll have a nice NZXT mask to show off the brand. All you need to do, just let me know when you place an order with us that you're from the Tech for Tech group, and I can chuck that in free of charge for you with whatever you want to buy.
Okay, that's pretty good. Before we go into the questions, can either Hits or JP tell us a bit about CMS and who you guys are for anyone who's watching who doesn't know, well, who CMS is?
Yeah, I mean, CMS, we've just shy of £500 million company now. We've been on a journey from the gaming point of view. I guess traditionally with storage and more B2B. The last 2 years, we've been focused on kind of growing our gaming division, building that ecosystem. You know, so we've got everything as a complete package. So we've got motherboards, cases, graphics cards, the entire shebang. And kind of one of the things we wanted to focus on as a distributor is that independent channel and kind of servicing the smaller independents and the SIs. So that's kind of from there we brought on Hits, who used to work at Gigabyte. That I'm sure lots of you already know, and he's kind of working as a business development manager for us, and he controls that independent channel, making sure you guys are serviced. You've got the right kit when you need it, and any problems, he's picking that up and getting it resolved.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. Right, before we go into the questions, again, if you're interested in winning a NZXT Kraken Z63 280mm all-in-one water cooler, which has got a recommended retail price of £219, if I'm correct, 99. Yeah. If you're interested in that, make sure you click that SurveyMonkey link in the chat channel. Again, this is for only people who are in the Tech for Techs group, not on the page, not on YouTube, not anywhere else. You've got to be in the Tech for Techs group to be able to click that link to be able to win. And the competition will be drawn after the show, and we'll inform you hopefully over the next 24 hours or so who's actually won. Right, first question, and I think this is the most important question, or at least the best question. The first one's regarding the water cooler, what you can put GIFs on. Is it possible to get hits on one of the GIFs?
I'm pretty sure it's been done already.
I won't be surprised.
Who's asked that question? Who's asked that question, Phil?
That one was anonymous.
Oh, was it anonymous? Right.
Yes.
There's only one GIF or image that this cooler cannot display, and that's a Man United logo.
Oh, come on, Dave.
It does Liverpool. It does Man City. It definitely does Newcastle, but it does not do Manchester United.
Well, you don't want it to crash and burn, do you? So
thanks for that, guys. I appreciate that.
Right. Okay. Let's get on to the more serious questions, what don't involve hits. Right. So first of all, is where can we buy NZXT products? So I think we've pretty much answered that one. You can buy it from CMS Distribution. Do you want to fill us in, Lewis, about how you're the account manager for all the Tech for Tech members, so everyone knows that they'll be speaking to you?
Yeah, definitely. I think I've been on one of these before, but yeah, I kind of service all the independent gaming channel along with Hits. So any kind of request for price, stock, or if you just want to create an account with yourselves, just drop me an email or just give me a bell on the phone as well. I think usually we post my email link up at the end of the presentation on the Facebook group. So yeah, just drop me an email and I'll be straight on it. So yeah, that'll be for NZXT or anything else you need.
Okay, cheers for that, Lewis. And I must admit, it's quite handy to have one account manager dealing with everyone in the group rather than having to jump around to different people. So I must admit that is a handy thing to have. Right, okay, so the next question is, why should I buy NZXT products over over all the many products on the market? What do roughly the same sort of thing?
Okay, so the way NZXT was founded, so the CEO, Johnny, he actually founded this when he was at university in America. And he actually dropped out of university because he was playing games too much. So when his dad said, you know, look, you're going to have to get a job. And he says, well, look, I want to start my own company. Well, you know, what company are you going to do? Because all you do is play games all day. So he wanted to start a gaming company. Now, you know, people may think, well, no, you're a manufacturer of cases, etc. But it's the whole philosophy and everything, how it was formed, that, you know, we are purely based on gaming. So every product that we bring out is designed for a gaming perspective. So the cases, the coolers, we've looked at everything in the channel. Now, what you find with other manufacturers now is they may have tried to start off that way, but, you know, once the money men and the big conglomerates come in, they lose focus of the products. And all they're thinking about is, okay, how many units can we move? What can we do? Who can we offer money to and move this? NZXT is all about the product. So all we want to do is engage with consumers to make the demand for the product by talking to gamers. Obviously, we've got global influencers that we deal with, like Ninja for Fortnite. We do big collaborations with all the major game studios. So we do something called craft cases. So we've got a Mass Effect case out at the moment. We've done a Rainbow Six. We've done Fallout. We work with all the gaming companies to basically make a product that will, you know, get the gamers interested in the brand. And then when they look at the products, they'll see obviously why they are better than other ones. We might not be the cheapest, but the reason that we're not the cheapest is because we've gone that extra mile. When we look at coolers, you know, we look at obviously with the first ones to bring out the infinity mirror, RGB effects on the coolers. We were the first ones to do that. Obviously, everyone follows suit, and that's the biggest compliment anyone can pay you. So, you know, we've brought out a lot of products, and then all of a sudden, a year later, people have had a similar product. And you know, we weren't the first ones to bring out the LED screens on the coolers. But we've certainly been the best and the best received in the market. And I mean, like I say, I think there is other people will bring them out, but the NZXT Kraken, because of that software link, is the one that basically gets the gamers and gets the consumers going. Nobody else can do the GIF, can do it that quickly. So it's just everything that we think of more than anyone else. If anyone just wants a cheap cooler, there's loads of brands out there. You know, not much thought gone into the product, thought about price, you know, how to get it cheap. That's not what we're about. And I mean, there are certain components that you wouldn't scrape on, and I would say cases, coolers, and power supplies and motherboards are definitely the ones. Everyone's been there down the cheap power supply route. I think everyone's learned their lesson on it. These are the components that you need real quality components on. So spending that little bit extra money to get an NZXT is really worth the while.
Right, that's pretty good, David. Just reading one of the other questions coming in. Right, this question is a real technical one. They want to know why you've got a hot dog behind you on your shelf, David.
Because one of my kids must have put it in there, and I normally have my camera higher up. So well spotted. What I normally have in view is I normally have this, which is the NZXT mascot, which is called a Pucky. So good reason for me to plug a different product. So Pucky is based on a product that not many people will know, that is unique to NZXT, which is this product, which is it's magnetic and it goes on the side of your case, and it's actually to tidy up your headset. So when you've got a headset there, it just sits on there, and it sits on the back end of my piece, the side of my PC that I don't see, and it actually works for VR headsets. So that is what you should see. That is what you shouldn't.
I don't know. Right. Okay. Next question. Can we become NZXT approved resellers?
Okay. So yes, we do have a where to buy section. Obviously, I would need to vet this to make sure, obviously, that you supply NZXT products. Obviously, we'd pretty much like you to skew the whole range, but it's all under my control. So I control the where to buy on the website. I've got a spreadsheet. So by all means, if you start buying the products, you put them on your shelves or on your web store, by all means, get in touch with me, and I can get you added to the where to buy section.
Okay, that's pretty good. What about point of sales materials for use in our store or for like digital media, for social media and stuff like that? Okay, so online, definitely. We've got lots of assets, can be customized for anyone. We've got a team that can make any banner sizes or anything that we need, and we've got all the standard sets. So all A+ content, we've got all that. When it comes to stores, it's a little bit harder because it's more localized. So yes, we have the aesthetics for it. We have all the graphics, but we have to get them done locally. So at the moment, I don't have enough projects to warrant the printing, but I'm hoping Tech for Tech guys going to start taking off CMS and people start getting in touch with us, and we could do a run of, you know, whatever we need, posters or stands. You know, point of sale is really good for NZXT, and you know, the imagery, the whole, you know, we've got purples, our color, you know, everything about it, you know, where we've got stores around the world, you walk in and you just see the color straight away, you know, it's NZXT. So, you know, and then you've got obviously quite unique to us is white products sell more than black when it comes to cases. So certainly display wise, we stand out from anyone else. So, you know, if you've got a storefront where you've got a lot of black cases, you have one ZXT white case, I guarantee your customers will come in and they'll go straight over to that because it's something that stands out that much. So yes, we can do it, but we would need enough of you guys to try and, you know, get the whole project done together. We do as well obviously have t-shirts, hoodies, face masks, that kind of thing. So if anyone becomes a partner, you know, and starts really picking the volume, we obviously want people to come into your store and see our hoodies, our t-shirts, our caps. Strangely enough, Hits is wearing one of our caps. You just can't see it. Yeah, we want your customers to see that, and immediately, obviously, they're drawn towards NZXT products. So it's definitely something we are capable of, but it will be on a case-to-case basis. So maybe Lewis could be the guy who will coordinate. Comes to me if you guys obviously need a help with that. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Next up, warranty returns. Are they dealt with directly through yourself, so NZXT, or via the distributor, or in this case, CMS? So at the moment, it's through the distributor. So you know, if you've got a faulty product, CMS will take that back. We'll obviously credit CMS for it. We have just launched our first European office in Munich in May, maybe. Supposed to be March, but the pandemic put it back to May, I believe, which obviously this year has been a bit difficult. So we are building up a customer service team within Europe. We should hopefully have one within the UK. At the moment, I'm the one and only UK employee. We should have a second one by next week, and then we're building the team around that. So customer service, at the moment, it will roll out to Germany.
We've obviously got the US guys, we've got Germany coming in now, and hopefully a UK team as well. So it's all building up nicely, but we definitely have a dedicated team, and returns will be handled by CMS with no issues.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. Right, next up, let's have a look. Peter Whitehouse asks, with these MSRPs, what kind of margin can resellers expect? Healthy or the usual 10 points or less?
Guys, would you like to answer, or should I? Yeah, more than 10 points. I mean, obviously, there's different pricing levels, but we do leave plenty of margin within the channel. Because we're a premium product, we put the prices that little bit higher, and we try and make sure we've got that extra margin in there. So all I can say is really just speak to CMS, ask for the prices, have a look at the MSRPs. We try not to change them. I know some of our competitors, they change them every month and they're squeezing. I try not to change them at all, probably for half a year. Obviously, we've had pandemic issues, we've had exchange rate issues. So we've changed them when the exchange rate crashed, and now the exchange rate's back, we've moved them down, which is why, obviously, on my presentation, you saw a few cases have moved £5 either way. That's literally because of an exchange rate, because obviously we sell in dollars. CMS will need to convert that to pounds for you guys. At the moment, it's quite good. But then, you know, what everyone doesn't know around the background of things is obviously freight charges at the moment is squeezing it that way. So we're constantly fighting a battle with prices between the US dollar. But now at the moment, the big problem is the freight prices. So yes, we think there's definitely more than 10 points in there, at least over 15. But yeah, please speak to CMS, get a quote off them and see for yourselves. Price it up.
That sounds pretty good. Next up was Richard Creedy. I'm guessing this is regarding the coolers or water coolers. Does that include 1200 series CPU? I'm presuming it means the socket support basically for the new 1200s.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that, at least from everything I've seen, anything what fits in an 1150 something board fits a 1200, and just make sure obviously the CPU don't produce more power or wattage and heat than the actual cooler obviously designed to do. So yeah,
it's all good. Like I mentioned, I mean, the Threadripper is the issue, because I believe that the adapter for the Threadrippers comes with the CPU, but you've got to buy a retail CPU. I think there may be some, it used to be a retail only product, Threadrippers, but I believe now there's some OEM versions. So you just need to be a bit careful. Obviously, if you're going to use a cooler with a Threadripper, you buy the retail version instead of the OEMs.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. Ben Ashcroft says, love what I've seen of the NZXT product so far. Have a building at the moment with a H510 case and an all-in-one cooler, and it's really decent quality. So it's more of a statement than a question. So that's good.
Great to hear.
Let's have a look. Okay, will the GPU bracket work on a 3080? And any chance you can supply us a 3080 while you're at it?
Just a bit of history before everyone else joined. The big conversation was about 3080s. I haven't got any. CMS might have some at some point, but actually we still don't know. So at the moment we're not approving it for it because we haven't had one of each GPU to test it with. There is certain products that we know because we've got the reference design off the manufacturers. So we've got like a list that we know of H1 GPUs that will fit in the H1. So I mean, 3090 is pretty much a write-off for the H1 because it's all triple size, and just the thermals on the 3090 as well. It's just not a compatible product. There is a lot of 3080s out there which will fit in that. And I also mentioned on the smart versions and the elites where you've got the vertical GPU mount. Again, that's a bit of an issue because there's only 2.5 spaces, so you have to be a bit careful with 3. So, you know, the next generation of cases obviously will look into that, and certainly if the G12 doesn't fit the new versions of the CPUs, we will bring another version out that will. It's just obviously I think this version of GPUs has been probably the biggest jump in design in maybe 5 or 6 years, especially when you see that the power draw went up, whereas, the last 5 years it's gone down every generation. So it's kind of taken other manufacturers a bit by surprise, the way that everyone's gone back to more power, bigger cards, rather than, the more efficient model that they've done, which obviously the CPUs are still on that model where the CPUs are still going down a nanometer in size and everything, whereas GPUs have gone back in the other way now. So yeah, it may take, if there was any GPUs to buy, it may take a little bit more research into the cases, the cooling, anything like that, the PSU even. The recommended, obviously, some of them are 750 watt now. You might have to look a little bit more when you finally get a hold of a new GPU and the other components.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. Another question from Peter Whitehouse. Who is the OEM for the power supplies?
It's a good one.
A good one. Is that as far as you're going to go?
It's someone who else is in the market who OEMs for a lot of people, but it is probably the most the most well thought of manufacturer when it comes to power supplies. So a bit of history. I spent, my last job was 2 years at EVGA. So I know PSUs, I know the different factories, the different vendors. Our partner for these is definitely the best. And if you hound Lewis offline, he'll probably tell you which manufacturer it is.
Okay. Peter says he'll accept that.
Yeah.
Right. Next one from Chris Langley. I think it's more of a statement. Yeah, it is. He says he's definitely getting one of those Z73s for his next build, which is a good. Seema Smith, what's the best selling case style / color? Is it mostly black or white casing?
Wow, I mean, so H510 is the most popular. Obviously, it's the lowest MSRP, so $69.99. So it's more the mainstream. The best color at the moment is white, and it's probably about 3-2, so about 2/3 white. And at the start of the year, January and February, it was exactly the same ratio, black to white. So it's just absolutely flipped itself on its head. And I mean, for me, from a point of view, considering obviously the lead times of manufacturing, shipping, by the time it gets in, when you've got a shift like that in colors within 6 months, it's kind of crazy. But this is whole part of how NZXT have came along in the last year, and the way that we've marketed ourselves, and actually where people didn't look for white cases before. You look at a white case from NZXT, it's now quite high up in most of the listings and all the top e-tailers in the UK. And I think people are seeing it and thinking, wow, that's the one for me. Whereas people were probably looking for a black case before and going through different manufacturers. So rule of thumb is, I think, if you want a white case, you get an NZXT. So yeah, that's why I think white is more popular. You would be amazed how popular the H1 is, the 710 and the Elite. There's absolutely no hold back from consumers about the price of, £150 case on the Elite or higher with a 710. People can just see the quality on it, and they're absolutely flying out. I mean, most of those have been in short supply before CMS came on board, which is why we needed them, because, I need 2 distributors to do that. We've had one for the last 12 years. I needed someone who was going to come on and obviously give me that stock hold. And obviously I wouldn't, come here and sit and talk to you guys without having CMS's backup that, they're going to hold back on the inventory. They're going to make sure it's all there, and we're going to make sure we can all ramp up the business together, because what's happened at the start of this year is just a container comes in, a container goes out, and that's everything: cases, coolers, PSU. So Q4 is the best stock holding we've had in the whole year, because we just went all in on stock. So, by all means, stock all of them. You'll be surprised how your customers take to them.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. Just got a few more questions coming in as well. First, we'll go to Steve Barker. So he says, why should I or any independent retailer store start selling NZXT? We already have good relationships with other vendors. What are next going to do to get a foot in the door, so to speak?
Okay, well, people have to tell us what we need to do. I mean, obviously, what I'm telling people to do is believe in the products first. So NZXT on one of these who's going to say, hey, let me through the door and I'll give you this amount of money. It's okay, NZXT have got great products. What we want you to do is obviously offer your products to the consumer and see how they take to them. When you see how they take to them, then come to us and obviously discuss a business plan and how we can progress it there. But as I've mentioned all the way along, we're all about the products. We're not about trying to buy a position or, a market share. We just want to reach as many consumers as we can and as many gaming consumers. If a business is, X amount of this brand and that brand, and they're not gaming focused, we're not after their business. I mean, everyone knows the gaming brands. I'm not going to say any here. There's certainly some that we are pushing really close within the UK, and everyone's kind of looking at the other way around and thinking, certainly with the pandemic, I would say the tech community is the one that's had the most amount of excess money to spend, because you're spending more time inside. You're not spending time going out, going on holiday. So whereas you might buy a cooler for £10 more for an NZXT as opposed to one of the other brands, you've got more time to research it and research why that is £10 more and the extra functions that it has, and figure out why we've done it that way and why we priced it that way. And I think just getting the even keel with a consumer to give three options, a good, better, best, with NZXT being the best, I think you'd be surprised how much your customers will pay the extra amount of money. And you've just made, £120 sale instead of £100 sale on a cooler. And, everything's backed up with the warranties, with the customer service. And like I say, if your business grows, your NZXT business grows, that's when you get in touch with Lewis or Hits and you say, hey, look, our consumers love this. How can we drive it more? And that's when they come back to me.
Right, okay. I'm just looking at chat and they're all offering beer if I tell everyone who your OEM is for your power supplies at the moment. So this one's quite tempting, but I'll let you guys ask Lewis tomorrow, okay? If he hasn't already told you. Look,
we'll see which one it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, next question. And this one is for Jean-Paul. And has the travel ban been lifted, apparently?
Travel ban for us getting out and about.
As in travel ban, as in where you are at the moment from your background.
Background.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. I'm just dreaming, to be honest. I wish he was there.
No problem. Right, next question for CMS. This one is, so it's up to you guys who's going to answer this one. This is from Seema Smith. Question is for CMS. I'm a non-retail IT consultant, so I wouldn't be in a position to generally place large or frequent orders. Is there a minimum purchase level agreement expectation with you guys?
No, there's no minimum order, Phil. I mean, again, Lewis can reiterate on that. The customers can buy for items all the way up to quantity, to 50 to 100s. There's definitely no minimum order requirements here for us to generate a sale. Definitely not.
Yeah, similar, like no need for a VAT number. Like if you're under the threshold, by all means, just let me know as much information about you as you can. I can take that to our credit team, and I always try. Well, I explain everything to him so the accounts can be free to trade. There's no limit or anything. So it's just like I know Richard Creedy was here, bought 2 power supplies for himself. I sorted that out for himself. And yeah, his account's up and now good to trade whenever he wants, even if it's 1 or 2s or 10s and 20s, 100s. There's no limit.
Just make sure you're a business and away you go. You should be set. Okay. Next up from Kunal, are there any quantity price breaks? I'm guessing that'll go to you, Lewis. So I'm presuming if someone wanted to buy 10 or 100 or, well, I don't know, you might want 1,000 of whatever.
Those ones. Yeah, usually I always get the best price anyway. I'm not somebody who kind of messes around by trying to make margin for myself. The best price is usually the first price I give. I'm not somebody who's going to go by quantity price breaks. Usually if it's a higher volume, I can always see what we can do. But yeah, usually it's just the best price I give. I'm not somebody that mess around with pricing because I know all your time is very valuable. So I don't want to mess around with 3 emails back and forth about pricing. So yeah.
Okay.
I'd say, unless you want to buy a container, in which case we can go to Dave and get a discount from him.
Get a boatload, you should be all right. Right, have we got any more questions or any questions I have missed? If you would like to put in the comment section now, please do before we wrap it up. Again, if there's any more questions you've got or any I have failed to ask, please put them in the comment section. I've had over about 125 comments altogether from all the channels, so that looks pretty interesting. There's a few comments about Lewis. Looks like he's got a bit of a halo around his head at the moment.
That's just natural. There's nothing behind me.
No problem. Right. Any more questions, anyone? Let me just have a quick skim through, make sure. I don't see anything there. One question on YouTube. I'm guessing this is a no, but is there any chance that NZXT is going to be making any motherboards?
Yes, we do. Any more motherboards?
No, any motherboards. AM4 motherboards specifically.
Oh, AM4 motherboards. We don't make them at the moment, but there is a very big swing in the market towards AM4, so it would not be a bad idea to.
That's as far as you're going to put it. So just watch this space. There we go. So let's have a look. Any more questions? Anyone else? It seems to be roughly it. I don't see anything else coming through. Okay, so do you guys have anything you would like to add before we call it a night? So let's start with you, David.
Yeah, one thing I'd like to add, Phil, if possible, is obviously we've got NZXT on board here at CMS as well now, amongst various other brands. One thing I would like to mention as well, while we have everyone's attention, is regards to visiting customers again. I would like to start to visit customers from Q1 2021, providing this vaccine actually works. That's for us to be seen yet, regards to the vaccine news. However, one thing I do want to mention is joint visits with our vendors. Well, myself and Dave Scott was going to do some visits already to visit in certain areas of the UK. And this is something that I would like to bring the manufacturer in to the independent channel, to visit the customers, to visit the independent channel and actually sit there and listen to their requirements as well. And any more extra support we can do with the vendor would be very, very good on behalf of CMS as a value add as well. This is something I'm going to be pushing a lot more in 2021, to do the joint visits, do joint meetings with the vendors on our behalf as well.
Okay, that's pretty good. Thank you. Here's just one question what has come in. The magnetic headphone rests, are they available at CMS?
Yep, they're called a Puck and they are available for, I think they retail at $14.99. So yeah, CMS have got them in stock. Go for it. We do black, we do white, we do purple, red, and blue. Okay,
that's pretty good. Right, okay. Do you have anything else you would like to add on, David?
Yeah, sure. So there's 3 types of customers, I think, when it comes to NZXT. So there's the people that have never heard of us before. Hopefully, I've shown you enough of the products that you would certainly like to give them a try. There is the people that already do NZXT, you know, have the confidence to do more because CMS are on board now. The stockholding will be a lot better. We can commit to a lot more things, a lot more ranges. And there's the customers who've tried NZXT and had a bad experience in the past. Where NZXT are now from where they've been in the last 2 years, it is completely different. So We've completely remodeled the way that we work across EMEA. It's a whole new team. The products have been, every product that we've brought out, which has been a next generation, has improved again and again, to the fact that every product we brought out this year has had award after award after award. So things like the PSUs we've tried before, it didn't work out. We tried the latest series, it's been brilliant. Same with motherboards, third generation, even coolers. You know, people might have tried the first generation Krakens, not liked them. We've just developed them every time. So, you know, if you're one of these who tried it maybe 3-4 years ago, didn't like the product, please try it again, because we've improved everything so much in the last few years. So there's definitely room for an NZXT customer in you, whether you've heard of us, not heard of us, or you are a current customer.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. Anything else anyone else wants to say, JP or Lewis? No?
No, good, yeah.
No, you're
Yeah,
all
I'm all
good?
good. All good.
Steve Barker, cheers for the image, mate.
Yeah.
I'll have to figure out what that is in a few minutes. Right, okay, right. So that looks like it for today, guys. So I'd like to thank David, John Paul, Hitz, and Lewis for joining today. If you are an independent trader, store owner, MSP, tech vendor, or distributor, you can find out more information about Tech for Techs at techfortechs.co.uk/join. Join over 1,000 members just like you that can give you free business or tech advice. And did I say it's totally free to join with no membership fees or costs to you? Thanks again for watching, and thanks for supporting independent businesses. See you next time.